All right, so we are live. I will give it a moment. And it's buffering a little. Okay. So let's look at the earthquakes right quick. Nevada's got they're picking back up again. These can't be aftershocks that are, I mean, because they were going down and now they're going back up. So we had a 4.6 today in Tonopah, Nevada. And they just had another one. It's a small one. That was a 3.6. These are within the last hour. So anyway, I don't really cover earthquakes. Those are common in Fiji. This one happened within the last hour. It's in Greece. Greece has been getting several this week too. In Japan. Anyway, the ones in Nevada are definitely on an uptick. And then California had a 4.2. We need to watch this area. Anyway. And let's check. I think activity on this is off. So they're saying now that we could go into a grand solar minimum, which they say they don't think there's a chance of a great freeze of the earth, a deep or ice age, mini ice age, because of the warming that's been going on. So anyway, we were supposed to already be in a solar minimum. So I'm confused. I'm gonna have to recheck all the dates and see if anything's been changed. Because for years people were reporting that we were in a solar minimum already. So it's supposed to be an 11-year cycle with the sun for solar minimums and solar max. So I find that interesting. This thing's taking a minute to load. Anyway, I'll wait. So I've been to the doctors, I think like 8 times since this uh, coronavirus started, and I can tell you I've never been tested, even though I'm at high risk, for it to affect me badly. Um, I haven't been checked because I never have a fever when I go there. Let's see if this thing's loaded yet. Why is it pausing? I have to go back and look, but it seems like these have kept their same positions, their same formation since it started when it first came on screen a few days ago. So definitely a lot of activity. Look at all those meteors everywhere. They're all over the place. I don't think we're in a meteor shower right now. I don't think we have another one till July. I might be wrong. I'll have to check on that. That was a pretty big one there. Not huge like some of those things we've seen go across, though. Some of them have been wider than this. Anyway, try to give it a few minutes. For people to join, type, or do something. I know notifications might not went out again. So for those of you that may listen later, if you don't get notifications, um, when when Facebook, excuse me, when YouTube updated some of their things, um, you had to go in and reset your notifications bell and make sure. So I think the default setting is some, like random notifications, and then, or you can select all. And so I used to do sometimes uh, 2 or 3 shows in an evening, but I guess the notifications got annoying. So I try to only, or unless it gets kicked off and have to restart. But unless there's some big breaking news, I try to just stick with one. So it's still raining here and it's chilly. But all right, so let's check the rest of this. This is all still real low. That's good. Anyway, that's an interesting dip. Hmm. Okay. At least the electron count has went down. Because this whole thing was lit up the other day, light blue in this area. So the electron count comes from the sun, and it also comes from deep inside the earth. But we are still getting less and less of the dark blue colors and more of the light blue taking over. But at least it's not this one. It was only seen that twice. But anyway, I think we're looking okay as far as that goes. Let's see how the world or how the U.S. is doing on severe weather for today, this evening. And as you know, there's 6 warnings, so let's see what those are. And this thing is loading slow tonight. Like Florida, Texas. Let's see. Montana, Colorado, Texas, 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 Montana. Okay. Okay, that's right off the coast of Florida. So any boaters out there, and there probably was a lot of them out there too, because of the nice, well, Florida's always warm anyway, but anyway, all right, that's enough of that. Okay, so I'm just gonna cover some stuff and call it a night. I don't get any interaction. Oh, there's almost 12,000 people listening to somebody. Okay, let's see. Is this Midland County? I don't know what's going on there. Go ahead, this is email command. Part of Michigan, Midland, Michigan area. Let's see. Vehicle fire in Ontario, Canada. Structure fire in Dutchess County, New York. Los Angeles County, covering the televised CHP pursuit. Mercedes SUV Burbank officers started in Santa Clara. They had to have caught him by now, maybe. Let's see. You would think they've caught this person by now. But they still got 500 and some people listening, so maybe they're still pursuing the guy.
Squad 111, call type is now a full arrest. Sheriff around.
All right. Let's see. Well, Cleveland's always got a bunch of people listening. I don't know what happened in Michigan. They had 12,000 people listening.
Commander Central. Go ahead. RT is on CI. Riverside. Requesting him. I'll get you specifics on that. Copy. 3148. I do show it open at this time. Is M30 to Saginaw clear? Negative.
Oh, shoot.
I mentioned M20.
Sanford dam failure. Intimate Midland residents evacuating. Maybe that's why.
M20 into the city is still open as far as I know.
Maybe that's why they got maybe that's why they had 12,000 people listening.
Midland City officer by the last name of Hoover still working currently.
Sanford dam failure. Imminent. Midland residents evacuating.
City PD Hoover.
Titabasawee, however you pronounce this river, expected to crest at 38 feet Wednesday. It was at 30 feet, 54 inches. It was at 30 feet, 54 inches at 9 p.m. Tuesday tonight. And it's expected to crest at 8 a.m. to 38 feet. 4 feet higher than the flood of 1986. The Edenville Dam along the river failed, the structures collapsing at about 5:45 p.m. And an alert from Midland County 911 about 7 p.m. stated the failure of the Sanford Dam was imminent. So one dam's already failed and collapsed, and now they know the other one's going to fail. Dave Cook, a meteorologist with the National Weather Service, said the breaching of the Edenville Dam has caused more water to be released into Sanford Lake, also increasing the amount of water passing through Sanford Dam. Residents were told to evacuate immediately as a life-threatening flash flood was issued by the National Weather Service of Detroit, Pontiac for the Several shelters have popped up in Midland and surrounding regions.
Okay, clear. We'll move into the neighborhood to the south of that, though. Copy.
Hold on a second.
143 Central. Go ahead. Reference to state unit inquiry about the neighborhood. If he wants to go direct to 119, so they don't have the information as far as what neighborhoods are in. 3140, standby.
Let me update this thing.
143 Central, that was me yesterday. Okay. Just wanted to advise you, sir, the neighborhoods on Wackerly between Dublin and Stark have been checked. Okay. MSDU is asking about southwest of Wackerly neighborhoods. I'm most likely directed, sir. If you want to go, I'm sitting meeting with 119 at the command center. He can tell you about the other neighborhoods south of there.
Shoot, what's the name of this other dam? Sanford.
Central 3161. 3161. We're going to 10 shut down at business time. We're rolling through the city. Copy. Central, Tower 1 and quarters. Message 6.
Okay, I had to update though. This is wow. So that you can only imagine how many houses and businesses are going to be completely destroyed by this. So one dam has already collapsed.
You're shutting down. You said 2 business times.
And they know the other dam's not going to be able to hold. It's got to take on the water from the other collapsed dam, and the time of the flood was pushed back. It's currently set for 8:30 a.m. Wednesday. Several shelters have popped up in Midland and surrounding regions. All residents along the lake and river should immediately evacuate, as well as the City of Midland residents living west of Eastman Avenue and south of US 10. Any Midland Township residents on Ashby Road between Poseyville and Patterson Roads must evacuate immediately to a shelter at Bullet Creek High School. In addition, Homer Township residents residing on East Wheeler Road or on Homer Road should also leave.
Yeah, just wanted to double check that nobody took care of the Oakfield, Maple Leaf, Cobblestone area, southwest of Wackerly and Eastside. It's hard to.
All residents.
Can you repeat it again? 7 mile between what roads? Going to be Thornton and Gainesville will be by the road commission's building there. That's what you see, thank you.
All residents in Lincoln Township, east of M30, on any roads between Price, Wackerly, should evacuate immediately.
I'll give him a TX. We were at Westfall and on the business trip. Yes, I wanted to confirm what they're shutting down. I don't think they're supposed to yet. I was trying to get an answer on it. We were advised to shut down Westfall 10 at business 10 for MDOT so we can put up barricades.
All right. Let me see if I can find footage of that for you.
You can stand by for now. MDOT's supposed to be reevaluating that closure right now. Okay. Did you see anything for your health the other night? Oh, God, that was on YouTube.
All right, let me share this. Oops. Come on. Great. All right, waiting on it to load. Now, you know, I've been watching videos from around the world, and there's been flooding going on around the world. This is, look at this. That's a lot of water rushing in.
All I think is stay units on the city. I think we're all set with residents of there. Eastman Wackerly area.
And like I said, you know, here, all the roots of trees have been showing, oh my gosh. So, and it's raining again, but the roots of all the trees everywhere. And one of our people from a different state mentioned that a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, to me. He's like, yeah, how come we see all the roots to all the trees here? And then they complained about how they were here a couple of years ago, and they were here this year, about how much rain we get. And I'm like, no, it didn't used to rain like this at all. Anyway, so I guess this is where these are the areas in danger.
Not sure if they covered that or not. Okay. Yeah, say you have to go ahead and check that. Looks like we've got it normal. Hey, from what we're working on right now, thank you.
I hope this ain't causing too much buffering.
Go ahead. Just confirm discount is no preference this week. That's correct. Thanks.
Here's the video.
Copy. 170 Central, I'll be clear. Copy, clear.
So we are listening to the Midland emergency scanner. You hear the police still evacuating areas and closing off roads. And they know the other dam
5257.
will break,
Go ahead.
collapse by tomorrow.
Are you done with that car loading thing? Car's not in front of you, but we do have a
So
second boat.
Governor
And it's
Gretchen
waiting.
Whitmer
We're
declared a
coming in
state of
about now,
emergency
and
for
we'll
Midland
look.
County.
But if you have something, I'm available. Actually, disregard 5331. 31. I have a caller states at 2028 Crescent, number 4.
I wonder.
Some elderly there are refusing to evacuate. Can you check on them and see if they're there or left?
So they got some elderly people somewhere refusing to evacuate.
2028 Crescent, number 4.
People should not call 911 unless they are unable to evacuate. US 10 will be closed in both directions at Sanford Lake, according to the latest 911 alert. And it's flooding faster than anticipated. Edenville dam structure breaks. Evacuate immediately. I guess that's going to be 2 different links. I'll wait for it to load. I see it's trying to buffer a little bit.
Central West City Fire Unit, try again.
I'm sorry, they're taking a while to load. Maybe if I close that page
144, 119.
and that page. Oh man.
600 Central. 600. Shows back in our area, Bay City Road, US 10, out of service for equipment.
Let's see what other photos they got of the flood. Oh, man. Some of these websites are just too heavy. And theirs is definitely a heavy website. Oh, I'll give it another minute. I hope it's not buffering too bad. And now it's back to green. Doesn't look like it's loaded yet. So for those of you who just joined, the Edenville dam broke in the Midland County area of Michigan, and now they're expecting the next dam to give way, the Sanford Dam to give way, because it has to take on the water that the other dam was holding back, as well as the water from the heavy rain they're getting. And so they're got emergency evacuations going on, and you got some elderly people refusing to leave mandatory evacuation areas that they know from past experiences will flood. Hey, Discernment, how are you, sweetheart? So we are listening to the scanner for Midland County, Michigan area, as they're trying to evacuate people. Apparently, the first dam broke at 5:42 today, this evening, and at 7 p.m. they stated the failure of the Sanford Dam was imminent. It's in Michigan. So looking at it on a map, they're somewhere close to Detroit, I guess. Oh, hi, Matthew. Really? You were born and raised in Midland? And you're from Pensacola, Florida now? My ex-husband lives in Pensacola, Florida. So can you tell me, is Midland near, how far is that from Detroit?
Commander 162.
So right now they're trying to evacuate people. And some elderly people have refused to evacuate, which is sad. If you like, you can call in and talk about the area that you were born and raised in. It's 2 hours northeast of Detroit. Okay. Thanks for that, because I was wondering. So, let me put the number to the, let me put the show up for a second. That's the number to call in if you want to call in and share your experience about that area and what you know, maybe about the dams and. But that, they say that this flood is going to be worse than the one of 1986. I don't have any reports on if anybody was hurt or not, because I just noticed on my scanner that it had a lot of there was 12,000 people listening to Midland area. So then I looked up the news for Midland, and that's when I saw about the dam breaking. Oh wow. Then yeah, you definitely would be concerned with what's going on. They even mentioned the street and the apartment number of some elderly people that refused to evacuate. So they expect the water to be 38 feet at 8:30 in the morning, and which is 4 feet above the last flood of 1986, I guess, that did damage. So the areas they're trying to evacuate are the areas that flooded in 1986, and it was 4 feet less water. So I don't know how far this can spread, inland, but so one dam gave way, and so the next dam's going to give away because it's got to take on the water from the dam that gave way already. So it's got, not only does it have the floodwaters, but it's got the floodwaters coming that dam couldn't hold back. So they say that dam's they definitely expect it to give in. if you would like to call in and tell us about it. You're welcome to call in and share with us.
I don't know if anybody's been notified yet. I hadn't heard anything. Sturgeon north of Magna.
You live in Midland, Chelsea? You live there now?
I believe that's been that way for a while now.
I take it you're not. Oh, I missed a call. I'm sorry. If you'll call back, I don't know why it didn't ring the first time.
Central. Go ahead.
So I'm sorry it didn't ring.
Car 4, I'm heading to 6208 Sturgeon Creek for I believe it's an elderly female that needs to be brought back to LEC or Lieutenant Focal. Okay.
Okay, you want to try back, Chelsea? Sometimes the Skype acts up the first time.
Okay.
For some reason. The first time that it gets used for the evening. It does take a minute to ring because it's going through the internet. Okay, I see it now. All right, so I hit answer. It takes a minute. If it disconnects the first time, I'm gonna ask you to try again. Well, I told it to answer. It still says ringing, connecting. You live 5 minutes from the bridge? Wow.
Still says ringing.
Can you hear me?
2512 Isabella. 2512 Isabella Street.
Are you there yet?
Hello.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you cut down the volume to the chat room in the background, please?
Yeah, turn up volume in the background. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, can you cut down the volume to the chat?
Okay.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. How are you, Chelsea?
We're doing trying to get updates on the dam.
Yeah. I saw that 12,000 people were listening to the police scanner in Midland, right? And I'm like, well, that's a lot of people listening, so something big's going on. So I had to do a search, to see what was going on in Midland, and then I found where the dam had broke, and then they were doing emergency evacuations. Like they're telling people to leave now. And
well, I know Sanford got evacuated, Edenville got evacuated, and half of Midland is evacuated. Where I'm at, we're safe still, but it's awfully close.
Okay, I know that from what I read so far is that apparently there was a bad flood there in 1986, and they say this one's
this is worse.
Right, this one's going to be 4 feet higher than that one, than that flood.
Yeah, I think they estimated like a
38,
34 foot, 38 feet.
38 feet is the last update from the National Weather Service. They expect 38 feet.
But I know the highways are closed.
Yeah.
Traffic's crazy on my side of town.
Yeah, no doubt. So Matthew that's in the room now, he he used to live. He was born and raised in Midland. He now lives in Pensacola. He said that Tridge.
Yeah, it's the Tridge. It's
Okay.
the three. It's the three-way bridge.
Okay.
But Edenville Dam broke, the Sanford Dam, and then Sanford Dam is flooding Midland.
Right. And how far away from that are you from the evacuations?
Not even, what, 6 miles?
Oh, wow. So you could very well end up being evacuated too.
Yeah, you were saying something about Bay City Road earlier. We're on the corner of Bay City Road and Waldo.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
We had like a whole bunch.
DNR were pulling boats and stuff like.
DNR pulling boats, cops driving by, ambulances, fire trucks.
Right. No doubt. Well, that's a horrible thing to be going through. And then I hear some elderly people didn't want to evacuate. And so the police sent someone else by there trying to convince them that they needed to evacuate because they were definitely in the flood zone.
I know there's a lot of people refusing to evacuate. I know if I get told to evacuate, I probably won't.
Right.
Where are you going to go? I mean, really?
Well, I understand that, but if it's just going to be some minor flooding in your house, I get not evacuating. But for some of these people, especially the elderly, and they're in the areas that it's going to take a lot of water on, it can sweep them.
My mom works at a gas station right by the Tridge, and I didn't think about it. She was at work when Tridge flooded.
Really?
So I have to call my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I imagine Matthew's got some people he needs to call in Midland too, because he said he's still got lots of family there.
Yeah. We've got lots of friends or family in Sanford and in Midland, like
really
affecting everybody.
Yes, Elsa, that's what we read, that the governor said. Yeah, I read off the schools and stuff that were now shelters.
Yeah, Midland High is a shelter, and Northeast and Coleman or Edenville are closed, but Midland High School is the rescue place.
Right. All right, I just heard them say something about some places got 3 feet of water already. So I don't know
I'm going to have to call my mom.
Which streets that is. Yeah, well, do you want to call your mom and call us back and let us know how she is, or
I can do that.
Or can your husband talk while you call her or whatever? Because I don't want to invade on your privacy while you're talking to your mom.
He can. He's actually right here. Hold on 1 second.
Okay. And then you can call your mom and check on her.
Hello.
Hi there. How are you?
Good.
All right. My name is Judy.
Given the circumstances.
Yeah. I'm Judy. I live in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And I just saw what was going on. So I decided to do the show about that. And then your wife was lovely enough to call in and share some info with us, but we want her to check on her mom. So, do y'all have pets too?
Where we are now, it's like we're on higher ground. We're a little bit away from it, but like we're pretty close to everything that's going on. Like cops going by towards down the street where they're blocking off roads towards where the river is and stuff.
Right. So you're watching boats being towed by and stuff?
Yeah, like DNR drove by towing boats and trailers and stuff like that, rushing to the places where people would be in danger.
Right.
So there's a lot of responders out there doing their jobs. They're doing a good job, seems like, as best as they can.
Right. And it's got to be rough in the dark for them to try to do rescues.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then you've got some elderly people refusing to leave, and they're in the zone where the dam broke already. And so I was listening.
That's probably why they had the boats. They're trying to go out there and try to rescue people, I'm assuming.
Yeah. And so discernment says he's praying for all y'all. And Midland, and Sanford. Wow. So I guess it's
Really
gonna be
crazy.
hard to sleep tonight, isn't it?
I feel like we're in a good. Us personally are okay. We should be fine. But for a lot of people out there, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely throw some prayers out there for them.
Well, do you have family and friends in the mandatory evacuation areas?
Yeah, tons of friends.
Has any of them
Not so
called
much
to
family,
come?
but a lot of friends live out there. Yeah,
Have any of them
like
called to
horse
see if they?
farms and stuff.
Yeah. Has any of them called to see if they could come stay at your house?
A couple of them have, yeah.
Yeah.
But we already got a full house full of people, so there's plenty of room.
Oh yeah, and then you got the COVID thing to worry about. Good gracious.
Yeah, stay home, stay safe, and
Yeah.
now people can't stay home.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
I know.
world's going crazy.
Yes, it is. And I've been watching all the floods around the world, right? In Africa and India and all around the world that they've been having, I mean, inundated with floods and mudslides but scripture says, as in the days of Noah, well, we know that, God will never flood the entire earth again, but he didn't say he wouldn't flood parts of it. He just said he wouldn't kill all man by a flood again. And I mean, come on now. What was it last year? Hawaii had 54 inches of rain in a day. It was like 2 weeks before the volcano erupted. 54 inches of rain in
Wow.
a day's time.
And they're on an island too.
Yeah. But,
Run away from the volcano or run towards it.
I know, right? But
Right.
yeah, we're going to see a lot more of this going on around the world as the sea level waters rise.
Time to buy a boat
Absolutely. Hi, Mrs.
or a
Johnson.
houseboat.
Yeah, boat definitely would be nice. But the boats aren't even safe either when that water's really rough. Definitely better have your life jackets on the boat. Did I lose you? Oh, the call dropped. Don't know why. If you want to call back, please do. Okay, Chelsea, did you find out if your mom's okay? Thank you, Mrs. Johnson. God bless you too. Chelsea, did you get an update on your mom? I know we got high winds and rain here. Yeah, she does live in the area. She was just on the phone. That was her husband that took over the conversation because she had to call to check on her mom because her mom works in one of the flooded areas. And Matthew used to live there. They're about 6 miles from the Chelsea and her husband are about 6 miles from the evacuated areas or the mandatory evacuations right now. We were listening to the emergency scanner as the police officers were trying to get people to evacuate and help some of the elderly.
Coleman 140 Central. 140. 140 is going to be clear. clear at your own station when I'm back to our station.
So
Message received.
the line is open, 804-638-9969, if y'all want to call back or if someone else wants to call in. I don't want to pull up this this news thing again because it will cause the show to buffer. So the National Weather Service said the breaching of the Edenville Dam has caused more water to be released into Sanford Lake, increasing the amount passing through the Sanford Dam. Residents were told to evacuate immediately as life-threatening flash flood was issued by the National Weather Service of Detroit Pontiac. Yeah, I'd like one of y'all to call in and tell me how to pronounce this river. Titabawasi? Titabawasi? Titabawasi. I guess, something like that. Hello, Suzanne. How are you? Yeah, so the show was going to be about something else tonight, and then I ran across this. Oh, I pronounced it correctly. Thank you, Mrs. Johnson, because I sure wasn't sure. I'd never heard of it before now. So, have they been getting a lot of rain? 'Cause I haven't done the research on this. Have they been inundated with rain like we have here on the East Coast? Yeah, it says all residents along the lake and river should immediately evacuate, as well as the city of Midland residents living west of Eastman Avenue and south of US 10. Any Midland Township residents on Ashby Road between Poseyville and Patterson Roads must evacuate immediately to the shelter at Bullet Creek High School on Bardou Road. Bador. Oh, the first way I pronounced it. Oh, how did I pronounce it at first? Oh, Titabawasi. They had been, I know a couple of people in the Midwest said there was flooding because of so much rain recently. Wisconsin, for example, Illinois as well. Okay. Yeah, I know that. Oh, I got it. Okay. That's a funny name for a river, but anyway.
2248.
Oh, why are they showing all these dead rats and so the Weather Channel's showing a bunch of dead rats and snakes and rabbits. Anyway, is all over way too much rain? Is it? And it's a sizable river. Okay. Your husband, oh, he had ankle surgery. Oh, I'm sure, Suzanne. Well, Matthew, you know, the rains have been heavy the last couple of years, like crazy heavy. Even the snowstorms and the hail. Mexico had 6 feet of hail. 6 feet of hail last year. 6 feet piled up. And I don't know how many feet it happened twice in Florida, and then it happened somewhere else. Same thing. So much sleet on the roads. They had to bring in bulldozers and snowplows from other states to clear the sleet off the road because so much sleet had piled up. And Hawaii had 54 inches of rain last year in a day. In one day's time, 54 inches. And now, it used to be they'd say you were going to get an inch of rain to expect minor flooding. It was going to be a heavy rain. A whole inch of rain was going to fall within a half a day or a day's time. Well, now the average is 3 to 4 inches if it's minimal rainfall, and that can be in a 10-minute storm. And 6 to 8 inches is like the new norm. And even the summer showers that used to last 10, 15 minutes, now, oh my gosh. Anyway, so here we're going to have a bunch of trees killing people because all the roots of all the trees it's just washed away the ground, and then the water table is already high here. 5276. And there's parts of the ground that haven't dried in 2 years.
You point towards that missing that I have.
So I do believe, as in the days of Noah, so will be the days before the coming of our returning Messiah.
Evacuation there. They said they should have been notified, and they just can't get a hold of them. Parents as well.
All right, so now they're getting ready to go. The police are going to go check on somebody that was in the mandatory evacuation area because the kids have been trying to get a hold of the parents and can't. And so they're the police are going to go check and see if the people made it out safely. So the line is open. Matthew, if you want to call in from and tell us what you know about when you lived there, or Mrs. Johnson, since you're familiar with Midland.
Go ahead. And we have a unit at 2512 Isabella, and their residents are vacant home.
Oh yeah, I understand, Suzanne. All that up and down the stairs, waiting on somebody. Well, I hope Chelsea's mother is okay.
We will be attempting to reestablish contact with that caller just to confirm he has the address correct. I know you're busy. Is there any chance?
Maybe they had to go get her mother.
They can make their way to drone station 1. Try and get this guy to a home.
Hopefully they'll come back and share with us what's going on. Well, that's cute, Suzanne.
Just an FYI, it's not over the road yet, but it's backing off Sturgeon Creek. Both to the roadside at both north and south of the road, so it won't be long. Okay, copy, thanks.
He just said it won't be long before it comes over the other roads, wherever that police officer was at.
Central to the city fire unit at 2512 Isabella.
I guess that's what I heard a couple hours ago when I listened in, and I heard, I didn't know that's what was going on, but I heard police officers talking about.
We'll be back there in about 3 minutes. You walk down the road, coming back.
It said that there was only 2 or 3 inches, so I just figured they were talking about a little storm that came through. The local news here in Pensacola, Florida is even reporting about it. I guess they are. I mean, that's a that's a major thing when your dam breaks and you have to emergency evacuate towns, and then another dam's gonna give way. As you remember, they blamed it all on the Army Corps of Engineers when the dams broke in Louisiana during Hurricane Katrina. Your hometown is underwater? Wow.
142 Central. Go ahead. I'm clear without that female. She refused. She also has a vehicle, and she is safe to drive. So she advised she'll be leaving her residence in 10 minutes. She's been in contact with her family, and they're aware of her plan. Okay.
Okay, so that woman is going to leave on her own, she says, in 10 minutes because she has her own car.
144.
I guess they already got water over their streets.
Westbound 10 at business 10 is now being closed. If you have traffic, it should signal here with me in case people can get on somewhere or another. They're setting up signs and light board, and I'm going to clear. Okay.
All right, so they just closed another part of westbound 10. No, Suzanne, he now lives in Pensacola, Florida, but he was born and raised in that part of Midland, Michigan that's being flooded. So we showed the area drone footage of it from earlier, but it's dark there now, so I'm sure the drones can't pick up too much. Well, we hope that Chelsea's mother is safe.
5147.
And of course all the other people. We hope everyone ends up being safe. And I don't know if there's been any injuries from when the dam initially broke.
SOR compliant milling, and there are no taxis that are answering. Thanks.
So apparently they're still trying to call taxis to help rescue some of the people that don't have cars. But none of the taxi companies are answering. They're probably inundated with calls.
I'm going to be able to cover rural court, like that area with the evacuation. Yeah.
Okay, Suzanne. Yeah. Well, I actually only started an hour ago. And I was going to cover other things, but then, like I said, I noticed that this scanner had way too much activity, so I was.
611, go ahead. Beaverton. Yeah, I'm on the township farm. Just be advised that if we need to, we may have Handy come down and go east across Curtis.
Can y'all hear the scanner okay?
You want us to stay in service, head back to Beaverton. It's up to you. Would you like to stay in service or no?
Okay. I heard him say Beaverton as one of the roads. So Midland County ESA 3917 Jefferson Avenue is one of the shelters. Midland High School at 1301 East Lawn Drive. And at 7:30 p.m., a shelter at West Midland Family Center at 4011 West Isabella Road, M20, will be set up. Previously, shelters at Meriden High School and Coleman High School were moved due to water and power outages. So the first two shelters they opened, they had to move them because they took on water and had power outages. The State Emergency Operations Center is already activated and fully engaged in the response, Whitmer said. State officials from multiple departments have been on site throughout the day. John Mueller, U.S. representative, or U.S. Issued a statement Tuesday night saying mid-Michigan residents pulled together in challenging times and will make it through this. Right now, the most important priority is staying safe, and I urge everyone to follow the advice of emergency responders who are protecting our community. I open communications with FEMA as we prepare to assess the need for further assistance. Midland County Public Information Officer Selena Tisdale said residents should watch local media pages for updates and be aware of the surrounding areas, as well as check on their loved ones. Unless you're in an evacuation area, she urges residents to stay off the roads since many unexpected roadways are being closed due to water. We're finding out a lot of...
801 Central. 801. We will be clearing our station. Message received. Thank you for all your help. Have a good night.
We're finding a lot of things we didn't expect. It's some strange flooding patterns going on, she said. Tisdale said officials are following past flood patterns based on available data. However, she said areas are flooding faster than anticipated. US 10 will be closed in both directions at Sanford Lake, according to the latest 911 alert. People should not call 911 unless they're unable to evacuate. Dow posted to his local Facebook page at about 7:30 p.m. stating Dow's Michigan operations.
5 called in service on this channel.
Oh, it sounds like they're trying to get a helicopter to assist in something.
We just launched a boat here, Sanford. I don't know what helicopter's up above us that has the spotlight on it, but if they could throw some light down Saginaw Road near Dollar General and give the boat a hand, that'd be great.
Yeah, they need help with someone.
Good 5. I just copied the last little bit of that. Just so you know, we are kind of set up for rescues only. We don't have flare or nights on, although Trooper 2 has a night on. I'm not sure if it's operational though.
Wow. Like I said, it's got to be hard to do those rescues in the dark. Oh, I know, Suzanne. So the line is open if someone wants to call in.